Hello, math fans. Mr. Chu here with some more SAT review problems. So, this is video 4 from Module 4. I already have Module 1, 2, and 3 with 27 total problems from each module posted in videos, shorter videos with 2, 3, or 4 problems in each, that if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can go to my SAT playlist and you can review for the test. All these problems were released by the College Board. So they are good problems just to get you used to the type of problems they might ask. Some are easier, some are harder. They require background knowledge in algebra, geometry, and some of the other math classes you took during high school preparation. The topics vary from question to question. I do not control them and I do not group them. I put them in the order, numerical order they list them in each module. Like this video if it's helpful to you. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X. I've got lots of videos, lots of math videos, lots of puppy videos. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Here's a long link, and there are other links that you can click on to subscribe. If you have particular questions, whether it's a request for a certain type of video, I had a student that asked me to do some rate videos, and so I did some scale factor videos, and I had some requests for some calculus. So you can email me at askmrchu@gmail.com and ask me any math question that you've got. Let's get started on these SAT problems. So the way these problems work, I will read the problem, start explaining it, and then I want you to pause it, try it on a piece of paper if you know how to work it, see if you can pick the right choice if it's multiple choice, see if you can come up with the right answer if it's not multiple choice, and then I will explain it. So you pause it, work it, start the video up, and you'll see my explanation. All right, so number 10, the scatter plot shows a relationship between two variables, x and y. A scatter plot is just a bunch of data plotted on an xy plane. Which of the following equations is the most appropriate linear model for the data shown? For you to have a linear model, it's always helpful for you to have a line of best fit. A line of best fit is a line that you draw that is in between the data where you've got about the same amount above as below. Go down just a little bit more if it'll let me go. There we go, right about there. So if that's where I say my line of best fit is, look, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 above, 1, 2, 3, 4 below, and it goes through one of them, pretty close to a couple others. Now, you could do lots of things with this. If you could find integer points, you could even find the slope. But right now, we can use logic and good test taking skills to figure out what is the correct answer. So I draw my line of best fit. This line is going down from left to right, which means it's going to have a negative slope. Well, if it has a negative slope, you need to think about the slope-intercept form and the y-intercept. And remember, the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So it looks like it's just a little bit below 9.5, maybe 9.4. If you look at all the answers, there's a lot of 9.4s in there. So we're going to say, yeah, 9.4. So the slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, and the b would be 9.4, which would be the y-intercept. Each of the multiple choices uses a community property, and they switch the mx and the b around. And you can do that. So y equals b plus mx is the same equation. It just has the slope on the right and the y-intercept on the left. I can rule out a and C. Wait a minute, I can rule out A does not have 9.4, so I can rule it out. So let's cross it out. Let's do them one at a time. So I know that A cannot be the answer because it's got a y-intercept of 0.9. which would be right here. And that is not where that line crosses. It's A and B that I can rule out. So let me correct that mistake. It should be a B there, A and B. Why can I rule out B? Same reason. It's got a 0.9 as the y-intercept. All right. So we're almost there, just using SMART without having to take 2 points. Choice C has a positive slope m. You see how that has a positive 0.9 m? I can rule that out. So since this has a negative slope, that means I'm going to say, oh, it's D. D is my right choice. So hopefully you were able to get that. Now we'll go on to number 11. Remember to pause this and work it after I read through the problem. The given equation, 2.5b plus 5r equals 80, describes a relationship between the number of birds B and the number of reptiles R that can be cared for at a pet care business on a given day. If the business cares for 16 reptiles on a given day, how many birds can it care for on this day? So we're saying 16 reptiles, so R will equal 16. So the idea is to plug it in here. Pause this, see if you can work it out and figure out which one is the right answer. Start the video up and you'll be able to see me working through it. So to find B when R equals 16, substitute R and solve for B using inverse operations. So there's my equation. I substitute the 16m for the R, and then I'm going to multiply that. 5 times 16 is 80. Now I use the subtraction property of equality. Subtract 80 from both sides, and I get 2.5b, there's another typo, equals 0. Now I take 2.5b divided by 2.5b, and that's called the division property of equality. And the 2.5 over 2.5 is 1, and 1 times b is b, and 0 divided by anything other than 0 is 0. So the answer would be A. That almost looked a little bit tricky. So let's just talk about what it means if they have 16 reptiles and they can do 0 birds. What does that mean? So in context, it means that they spend so much time with the reptiles, they do not have time for birds. All right, now let's do the last problem on this video. It has a graph here on the XY plane of a line. It's a linear equation. It says, what is an equation of the graph shown? So you have to be able to figure out what equation is what. So pause this, give it a good college try, and I'll be back to explain it whenever you start the video back up. All 4 choices are equations written in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. We used that earlier. Very important algebra concept. So we could think, just like we did before, does this have a negative or positive slope going down from left to right? Well, it has a negative slope. Well, which ones have negative slopes? A and C. That means I could have ruled out B and D. But I didn't do it that way. I went ahead and worked it out, saying that the y-intercept is -8. See where that crosses the y-axis? So B is going to be -8. Well, which one has B as -8? All 4 of them. So they went through and had all 4 of them. B is -8. But it does cross and pass through this point on the x-axis, which that's the x-intercept, this point on the y-axis, which would be the y-intercept, So this point here is negative 8, 0. This point here is 0, negative 8. So I could find the slope now. So to find the slope, they have something that's called the two-point slope formula. So I can say that that first point is x1, y1. The second point is x2, y2. And use the equation y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. My y2 is my negative 8 minus my y1 is 0. And then my x2 is 0 minus a negative 8. Minus a negative becomes plus. It's a positive 8 in the denominator. Negative 8 minus 0 is a negative 8. A negative divided by a positive is negative 1. So I have to look through and find the one that has a slope of negative 1 and a y-intercept of negative 8 in this. So looks like that would be choice C. Because remember, negative 1 times x is negative x. Plus a negative 8 would be minus 8. And that would be choice C. All right. So this has been video 4. Make sure you follow me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and X. I've got lots of math videos. I got puppy videos, and I will make announcements on all those sites when something new is coming up. There are links in the playlist for Module 1, Module 2, and Module 3. And I'm working on Module 4 right now. So I'm about a third of the way through Module 4. And I have a playlist for each one in my playlist for my YouTube channel. Here's the long link. You can also click on links to subscribe. It really helps me, and it will help you if you subscribe if you're struggling in your math class. I do have an email address, askmrchu@gmail.com. You can have requests there. Help me spread the word. Mr. Chu wants to help people with the SAT, with algebra, with geometry, with pre-algebra, with arithmetic, algebra 2. I could even maybe do a little calculus. I just haven't taught calculus. So I have a bunch of videos that I call bare algebra videos that just deal with algebra, named after my 12 soon to be 13 next week. Will be 13 years old, Peekapoo, the gray one. And then the tan one is Brack, and I named my geometry videos Brack Geometry after him. He's 3 years old and weighs 120 pounds. I got a black kitty cat. He's a tomcat. He's 4 years old by the name of Trey. He often will jump up on my lap. And Trey is the mascot for Trey Arithmetic and Pre-Algebra. I have something called Math Minutes, and I'll just post just various topics with videos, usually at a whiteboard. And I've got these SAT preps. So I'll see you in the next video. And remember, I'm Mr. Chu, and I want to help you understand math. And I'll see you in the next video.